It is important to know what your road signs and markings means. The zigzag lines means you should not park in the marked area. Parking is allowed inside the solid white lines on the edge of the road. Remember, look out for pedestrians. Pedestrians, be sure the vehicle comes to a complete stop before crossing. These tips can save your life. These tips can make our roads safer for all users. Be safe, be seen, be smart. A message from the Traffic Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force.
All right, folks, and it's that time to say good morning for the link up, the live link up this morning. Good morning, Grenada. Those of you who are joining us for the first time, welcome on board. It's indeed a joy, a pleasure, and a privilege to have you with us this morning. As always, I do hope that you have yourselves a wonderful night. You had yourselves a wonderful night and a great days ahead of you. All right, let's get into the meat of the matter. And at this time every morning we give you the word of the day to strengthen your word power. And this morning we've got a wonderful adjective to lay on you. The word for the day this morning is the word onerous. Onerous, all right? Onerous. O-N-E-R-O-U-S. Like I said, it's an adjective. And it means involving, imposing, or constituting a burden. It typically describes something that is difficult and unpleasant to deal or to do, or to deal with. All right, so onerous means involving, imposing, or constituting a burden. It typically describes something that is difficult and unpleasant to do or deal with. It can be used these ways. They were assigned the onerous task of post-show cleanup. All right, after the event, they had to clean up the facility, the place that the event was held. That was an onerous task. We can also say the government imposed onerous taxes on imports. Yeah, we had some of that recently. So that's your word of the day. Your thought of the day is, if you want to achieve success, stop asking for permission, just do. All right? If you want to achieve success, stop asking for permission. No one will, the way the world is a sort of dog-eat-dog kind of crabism mentality. Nobody wants anybody else to succeed. So don't ask anybody for permission to succeed. Just do you. Do your do, as we say. 24 minutes on to the 7 o'clock hour. At 15 minutes, we've got the AM edition of News, Sports, and the Weather here. And for those of you on the television platform, we've got the rebroadcast of last evening's television news. Some of the stories making the buzz this morning. Making a case for payment for slavery. You can add your 2 pence on that. A Monday night beyond the headlines. That's this Monday coming. All right. Okay. Also buzzing. The governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, Timothy Antoine, has emphasized the importance of a recent amendment to the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, the ECCB Act. Okay. Also buzzing this morning, residents of Maribo in St. Andrews, they say that dust is everywhere. They are claiming that activities from a nearby quarry are affecting their health and would like something to be done about it. Good morning to the folks inside of Maribo, Michelle and your mom and everybody. Good morning. Well, Sholan is no longer there, but the folks down inside by Sholan, Shamika and those folks and them inside, good morning to you all. I'm going over to Sab. Good morning to Miss Brother wife, Miss Brother, the wife of Miss Brother. I can't remember her name. And all the folks who usually assemble in that shop where we played all the great All Fours matches. Yeah, good morning to all of the folks inside of SAB. Also buzzing this morning, a more extensive search is being done in Venezuelan waters for the two missing St. Andrew fishermen, while the search in Grenada and Trinidad has been placed on hold. I do hope that we find them and, nothing bad has happened to them. We know what happens sometimes if you get caught in Venezuelan waters. We had some bad experience with that in the past, so I hope that is not the case there. Also, we see that 30 police officers are now better equipped to serve as mediators for that's following a one-week training session at the Radisson Beach Resort. Yeah, that was a big story. I think that mediation training was done by Impact Justice or something. Yeah, there was a Barbadian lady. I wonder if it was Velma Hamilton. Can't remember her name. I think I did a course with her in Barbados a couple of years back. Yeah, but that was interesting because it is often said the police, they are the first judge. So if they are equipped with mediation capabilities, it could have an impact on the court system. A lot of things that get to court maybe can be mediated before it gets that far. So I think it's a step in the right direction as we empower our officers to deal with their duties. Michael McQueen has been found guilty of non-capital murder in connection with the December 2017 death of 83-year-old Franklin St. Paul, the brother of a former High Court judge. Okay, well, we'll wait to see what the sentencing will be like when that time comes up. And finally, buzzing this morning, the Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation Ministry is moving full steam ahead with plans to beautify Grenada. Yeah, there's quite a lot of work to be done, but it's a step in the right direction. Yep, it is a step in the right direction. So those are the stories that are making the rounds this morning. I want to say good morning to all those of you traveling on the buses, especially those of you living from Grenville traveling through Grand Tang. Good morning to all of you. Be safe. I had a peek outside a while ago. It's raining. It seems as though we're going to have some rain today. Be careful on the nation's roads. Good morning to my good friends Zai and KB and Ram and Stanley and I should not have started that, Marcus and everybody plying that route this morning. Good morning to you all. Be safe on the roads, please. As a matter of fact, good morning to all the bus drivers and conductors. Know your role. You are a very important part of the economic development of Grenada because you are bringing people to work, all right? Bring them safely, and you have yourselves a wonderful day. Quickly before we run off, Mary Ebanks, she's first this morning. Good morning, Mary. How are you? Hope all is well. Also, Catherine Phillip. Merry morning, Grenada and GBN. Have a wonderful day. Catherine, you do likewise. So, in rounding up this segment, the word of the day, onerous, and it means involving or imposing or constituting to a burden. It typically describes something that is difficult and unpleasant to do or deal with. And the thought for the day, if you want to achieve success, stop asking for permission. Just do. So these are the stories that are buzzing. We'll have this morning, I will be having a representative from the Swimmers Association. There's a tournament coming up shortly, and the president and the PR person will be joining us via the Zoom platform where we can have some insights into what's taking place there. So that's it for this segment. We take that break where we do the AM edition of News, Sports and the Weather. And those of you on the television, we have a rebroadcast of last evening's television news. So see you on the flip side of 7 when we'll have the conversation, okay? Bye for now.
For someone to help you to your feet. I'll be that beacon to your highest peak. Oh, I'll be right next to you, no, I will never leave. Come on, take my hands, we got everything we need. Cause you can look to me, whenever you're in need. Just call on me and I'll be on my way. I'll be by your side, never to divide. The light that shines our way. Wherever you road leads, we'll be right there with you. Wherever you road leads, we'll make your dreams come true. Next side, next side, next side, next to you.
Nexa Credit Union, with you wherever your road leads.
Thanks for joining us. Top story to report: Michael McQueen has been found guilty of non-capital murder in connection with the December 2017 death of 83-year-old Franklin St. Paul, the brother of a former High Court judge. Nisha Paul tells us more.
Although he has maintained his innocence, a 12-member jury handed down a guilty verdict to Michael McQueen at the end of his 9-day trial on Monday at the St. George's No. 2 High Court. The trial concluded before High Court Judge Madam Justice Victoria Charles Clark, who has scheduled sentencing for March 31st. McQueen was initially charged with wounding following an October 2017 altercation in which the now deceased St. Paul was struck in his head with a piece of stick at his home in Belmont, St. George. It was upgraded to non-capital murder approximately 3 months later after St. Paul succumbed to injuries sustained while warded as a patient at the St. George's General Hospital. McQueen was represented in court by American-trained attorney Jerry Edwin.
There were clear, unequivocal, bold, and bare denials by Mr. McQueen that he has ever struck Mr. St. Paul. It should be said that before he passed away, Mr. St. Paul complained to the police about seeing Mr. McQueen striking him, and he knew Mr. McQueen because he was his gardener. He lived at his home. He heard him speak. So Mr. St. Paul was quite clear in the statement he gave to the police that it was Michael McQueen who struck him.
McQueen, who faces a maximum penalty of life imprisonment, has already served 3 years on remand before being granted bail in the High Court over a year ago. He has been returned to the Richmond Hill prison pending sentencing. Attorney Edwin is disappointed that his client did not accept a plea bargain offered by the Crown for the lesser offense of grievous harm just before the start of his trial.
I am still surprised that Mr. McQueen refused the offer for a lesser, much lesser offense. It was my belief, and I tried to explain to my client, that it was quite likely he would never serve a custodial sentence in this case. And if he did serve a custodial sentence, it would not be more than 18 months. I failed in my powers of persuasion to make clear the logic of pleading guilty in this case. So Mr. McQueen now faces a sentence that can range anywhere between 10 and 25 years, or even more, based on the court's absolute and sole discretion. Consequently, I have ordered a psychological report for Mr. McQueen, as well, and it is standard in these cases, a psychiatric report.
Attorney Edwin says he has no plans to appeal against McQueen's conviction. He is optimistic that the court will impose a reasonable sentence come sentencing day. For GBN News, I'm Nisha Paul.
Well, a more extensive search is being done in Venezuelan waters for the two missing fishermen from St. Andrew, while the search in Grenada and Trinidad has been placed on hold. Rena Thomas has the latest update.
Coast Guard in Grenada and Trinidad and Tobago have suspended their search for the two fishermen from St. Andrew who went out at sea on February 3rd and are yet to return home. According to the officer in charge of the Grenada Coast Guard, Watson Edwards, after doing an extensive search in Grenada and Trinidad waters for the young men, they are now waiting on the authorities in Venezuela to conduct a wide search in their area and provide feedback.
As you all know that Trinidad is mainly the MRCC for this area, this region. So Trinidad oversees that, so we do all the coordination and so forth. So we reported to Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard. We also reported to Barbados, RSS, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines Coast Guard. Trinidad did 2 flies and came up with negative sighting. And as for now, they also discontinued the search but handing over the matter to the Venezuelan authority, who are still in the process of giving them back a feedback report on the matter. So as we stand, the case is presently, as I say, not closed, but it's suspended by the MRCC. They suspended all the search efforts, and they handed over to the Venezuelan authority. The jurisdiction, when they say suspended, is that the Trinidad and Tobago, the way they can conduct such is they cannot go over into the Venezuelan territory to do such, so they have to hand it over to Venezuela. So this is what I'm saying here to you, is that the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard, they suspended the search because they have done their area of flyover where they are subject to do. But now they have handed over to Venezuela, which is the mainland of South America, where they can take over and continue to do their search.
Edwards further explains that the case is still open and the search continues with the hope that they will be found. He said after feedback is received from Venezuela, then a decision will be made on what is the next step.
Yes, the feedback from the Venezuelan authority will be submitted to the MRCC, which is in Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard, and they will do the after-action report and determine whether the case is a closed case or not.
Kindon Alexander and Keithon Lewis left Grenville Fish Market for their routine fishing expedition on their fishing boat named Just in Time and never returned. The families of both men believe they encountered some difficulties and is in distress. For GBN News, I'm Rena Pett Thomas reporting.
An update now on the previously reported detainment of one Grenadian and 2 Vincentian nationals who were initially reported missing at sea. The men were identified as 51-year-old Grafton Farrell and 51-year-old Raymond R. Snag from St. Vincent and 60-year-old Anthony St. Hilaire from Grenada. St. Martin publication The Herald on Monday revealed that surveillance frigate Ventus was conducting an air-sea surveillance patrol when it made the discovery and seizure of 435 kilograms of cocaine from a coastal vessel northwest of Guadeloupe on Friday, February 10. Intervention by the Ventus crew conducted in difficult sea conditions revealed a suspicious cargo on board the Grenada-flagged vessel. We can tell you, too, the cargo tested positive for cocaine. When the Grenadian authorities waived their jurisdiction in favor of France, the 4 crew members and cargo were returned from Ventus to Fort de France and handed over to judicial authorities. 19 bales of cocaine totaling 435 kilograms were seized. This is the second seizure by Ventus in less than a month. Since the beginning of the year, West Indies forces have seized about 1.5 tons of narcotics, merchandise seized and dumped at sea, removed from distribution networks. Investigations on land were carried out by the Anti-Drug Office under the responsibility of the Prosecutor's Office of the Specialized Inter-Regional Jurisdiction of Fort de France. The story to report residents of Mirabel St. Andrew say dust is everywhere. They are claiming that activities from a nearby quarry are affecting their health and would like something to be done about it. Benoit Thomas spoke with residents there.
Over the past few years, residents of Mirabel say that they have been experiencing serious issues they claim are caused by a nearby quarry that has affected their health and the health of their children. They also claim that the operation of the quarry plant made their road condition worse. This resident, who lives closest to the plant, says her daughter suffers from asthma.
Breathing problem, that is my problem. Because I have a child with sinus and sometimes she can find it difficult to breathe. She can't stay inside here, she have to come out with the air more fresh so she could breathe properly. It really affects sometimes they on the quarry and you welding thing and the scent from the metal, like it will stifle you again. You can't breathe. Sometimes holy noise. You can't even hear your phone if it rings.
High breeze that passing, and now that we're in dry season, we coughing a lot, and we have like persons in the house that have asthma and stuff, so like it's raising a lot. So, and it also causing like breathing problems, like chest problems and stuff. Well, it causing a lot of like mosquito and rats because you have a lot of old stuff on the quarry that's attracting them. You had persons that used to plant on the quarry, they couldn't plant on the quarry again because he destroyed it. And it was like a good place because sometimes the SS used to come here and camp, but they can't camp again.
The plant is government owned but leased to an individual in the parish to operate. Another resident says despite numerous complaints to the operator, nothing has been done. She claims that trucks coming through the area will often break pipes that supply water to their homes.
Concerning the dust, number one, I'm a farmer. It affected my crops. Also, I cannot open my windows. All inside my house, all my clothes, everything's not cooking, all the pots. All over is dust. In the shop, all over. Dust. When you hear rain, and the trucks are then passing in the street, and my child had to go to school. She had to put on two black plastic bag in she foot to walk out the street. And this is terrible. And then when they break down the quarry there, win for so, because that was a little barricade for us. I even tell him, I said there is a road in the bottom. They asked him to fix the road down there, and he refused to do it. We said down there the trucks had to pass. Okay, every single thing. I mean, siding, the truck and them climbing, they break all on top by my shop. They break, climbing the thing and breaking everything. And you tell him about it, just watch and he smile and he go.
They are asking that something be done to deal with the issue affecting them, as it is overbearing. GBN sought to get a comment from the operator of the plant, but was unable to do so as we could not reach him. We are also awaiting a response from government on the issue. For GBN News, I am Benoit Thomas reporting.
Back at Television Center, 30 police officers are better equipped to serve as mediators following a one-week training course at Radisson Grenada Beach Resort. Christina John reports.
Community mediation is in safe hands. That's the view of Velma Newton, Regional Project Coordinator, Impact Justice Project, speaking at the conclusion of a one-week training of 31 police officers from the Royal Grenada Police Force in mediation. This forms part of the Regional Justice Reform Project, looking at mediation as a court alternative dispute resolution mechanism. This is the fifth such training to take place. The project was funded by the Canadian government in collaboration with the University of the West Indies to increase the pool of mediators in CARICOM member states. This was the final training for the region as the project concludes at the end of March this year.
Impressed by the views of Commissioner of Police Mr. Martin and his management team on the subject of community policing and the provision of support for police officers who experience trauma in the execution of their duties. Too often we tend to forget that police officers are also human beings who, like the rest of us, can be severely affected emotionally by trauma that they witness, and they also need counseling. The second instance, as a result of which the decision was taken to provide mediation training for police officers in Grenada, was discussions held at the police station in Guave. There, we were privileged to meet two police officers who impressed us by their accounts of the work they were doing to assist members of the community who came to them with problems. I can say that, in my view, community mediation is in safe hands in the officers of the Royal Grenada Police Force, trained by Impact Justice this week.
Acting Commissioner of Police Don McKenzie notes that if the public has trust and or confidence in an organization, obtaining information is much easier.
Mediation allows us to have what is considered to be accrued benefits in our approach to community policing, in that it allows for trust. It allows for the public recognizing the competency of the organization. And when you have trust and confidence in our organization, it spills over into, at times, that we have to address issues that is more germane to the more conventional type policing, which is the most serious crime.
Christina John, GBN News.
Other news, Governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, Timothy N. Twine, has emphasized the importance of a recent amendment to the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank ECCB Act. Isha Paul reports.
Last year, the Grenada Parliament approved an amendment to the ECCB Act to safeguard citizens' banking as part of efforts to ensure safety and soundness within the regional financial system. The ECCB Act precedents over any other enactment that conflicts with it. The ECCB governor emphasized the importance of the amendment at a recent media engagement as the ECCB celebrates its 40th anniversary.
If you ask people, perhaps almost the most important thing is my money safe. They want to have confidence that their money is safe and they can access it when they want. And you do not want a situation that arises where there is confusion. You have to go to court, you have to get lawyers. Meantime, you have a situation you can't resolve. Sometimes you have to provide for what you cannot see.
Governor Antoine explains that the amendment makes provisions for unforeseen financial crimes.
We've seen in recent times all sorts of development in the financial sector. And some countries, and by the way, Grenada has it, if you look at the Garfin Act, if there is an activity that you can't recognize or you have no specific legislation to cover, that promoter must be able to go to a regulator, some public entity, to seek permission to register, to license. That's not what this amendment is about, but I'm giving the example to say sometimes in legislation you have to think beyond what you can see and be prepared for something that you may not have foreseen, but when it arises, you have to respond.
He says the amendment gives the bank the ability to act promptly and decisively if and when a situation arises.
What we found out from around the world, that is best practice in banking. And that is why the amendment was recommended to the Monetary Council, approved by the Monetary Council, and then enacted. As we speak, I think that amendment has been passed in 6 of our 8-member countries.
Last December, both houses of Parliament approved the amendment to the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank Act. Attorney General and Minister for Legal Affairs Claudette Joseph referenced the financial debacle of Capital Bank International to support the amendment bill in the upper house.
This amendment will protect all of the citizens of this country, giving the central bank some more leverage. I would also add, Madam President, that it is an amendment to all of the relevant acts in all of the member states of the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union.
For GBN News, I'm Nisha Paul.
The Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation Ministry is moving full steam ahead with plans to beautify Grenada. MIT Minister Andy Williams says it goes beyond the removal of derelict.
Transforming the South into the face of Grenada, Minister for Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation Andy Williams reported on government's plans to transform the south of the island and by extension Grenada. He says as a first point of entry into the country, visitors should smell and see Grenada as the Isle of Spice.
Even the airport. When you enter the airport, sometimes that is the only time you get to really see Grenada, because you might go to your hotel and not even go back out. So even the airport, when we drive from the airport into St. George's, right, into Grand Anse, we should be seeing what Grenada really look like. Having some nice trees planted, some spice trees and so. Why is it that spice trees supposed to only grow in the rural areas? Even when you enter the airport, we should be having some nice aroma of the nutmeg and cinnamon and so in the airport, so when people come in, they can smell the Isle of Spice, right?
In a recent meeting with food vendors and the Wall Street Cooperative, he expressed dissatisfaction with the present construct of the location, which includes how vending is done. Apart from adding washroom facilities and other amenities, he touched on other plans for Wall Street, expected in the next month.
To the Wall Street, and I promised Wall Street that, and when we finish all these changes and so, that I am going to sponsor some cultural performances, and we are looking at the first week in March. So it's not going to be a long drawn or something. I'm going to sponsor some cultural performances like the steel band, the drummers, and some live bands and so, where we can change the image of Wall Street. You're coming to get some street food, the folks that are selling supposed to have their hell badges. You're supposed to have a proper atmosphere that even tourists and so can come and be part of it and get to know about Grenada in the process.
The MIT minister spoke on inclusion, that of having other cabinet members join in the beautification process in their respective constituencies.
Right? I've asked the various ministers, MP, caretakers to identify area in their community that they want to beautify. And what we will do is to work with these MP caretakers and so that we can not just have it in the south, but have it in all parts of Grenada, right? And that is where the pride in your country would come back, because, and when you see you put the efforts, not just the government, but the people in the community put efforts in getting or in raising the standards and so of their surroundings, then they will see it upon themselves to maintain these areas.
Mr. Williams was a guest on GBN's Beyond the Headlines Monday night. Christina John, GBN News.
All right, so you can see quite a bit on Juve Morning, but for this evening's featured submission, you must take a peek through the GBN ISO lens.
A good eye captures all. GBN ISO is brought to you by ClearVision.
Life is beautiful if only you can see it. ClearVision Eye Center helps you do just that. We provide expert service, classy eyewear, and cutting-edge technology, all with a quality customer experience. See better, feel better, and look better. Meet us today at clearvisiongrenada.com or call 444-0055, WhatsApp 409-0055, or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. ClearVision Eye Center. Let's see life and the world with a clear vision.
Not many may be able to stomach tonight's GBN ISO submission. On Juve Morning, Jab paraphernalia often includes chains, horned helmets, conch shells, and animal heads. But never before have our citizen journalists seen this type of paraphernalia being used. A Jab is photographed with dried cow dung in his mouth during Monday's Juve Morning Mass in Caracou. Let us know what you think of this odd spectacle. Send us your photo and video submissions via WhatsApp at 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
And
so it begins. A journey like none other. Every moment has the potential to be unforgettable. Bring home a piece of the tropical green forest with every capture the sparkling light of flawless water in a diamond. Make the sunrise and sunsets last forever. With precious colored gemstones, the essence of happiness is in our most precious memories. So when it all comes to an end, bring home something that will last forever. Colombian Emeralds International. Bring home more than a memory.
Last week on Our Climate Reality.
Climate change is in fact a real phenomenon, and it is already occurring, and we are already beginning to feel the impacts in our region. And those impacts are not just restricted to the physical impacts, more rain, hotter, but it then impacts our quality of life and how we are able to, to really live on a day-to-day basis. And that's the significance of climate change.
We have to understand what our current climate pattern is, and then try to understand how that pattern might change in the future. And of course, the changing climate pattern will force us to shift our lifestyles, or could force us to shift our lifestyles. But let's also remember not just to keep it in a human-centric viewpoint. There's a whole biosphere out there that's going to be impacted. Coral reefs, marine ecosystems, agriculture, chickens, poultry farmers, and most of it is going to have an economic impact.
Join us this Wednesday at 8 p.m. as our panel discuss the opportunities and co-benefits for reducing greenhouse gas emissions. All Climate Reality, GBN Television Channel 7 and 11, K105 FM, and all our social media platforms.
You ate well, drank and indulged, laughed, and had so much fun for the festive season. But now it's time. It's time for some serious detox business at Nirvana Detox Center and Natural Health Store. Start the year right with your health as a priority. Cleanse and flush your blood, liver, and kidneys with quality herbs and supplements. Purchase one of our detox combo packs starting from $100. Purchase a full body detox pack starting from $500. Get 10% off on colonic irrigation. Get a chance to win a free colonic irrigation treatment and product coupons with every purchase. We are located in Grandin, minutes before the Food Fair Shopping Center, immediately opposite the old Capital Bank building in the Regency Commercial Suites. Give us a call at 231-6642 or 418-7115 or visit nirvana.gd for more info. It's time for some serious detox business at Nirvana Detox Center and Natural Health Store. We know real body care. This offer is valid until March 31st, 2023. Terms and conditions apply.
We're back! Grenada's Wester Hall White Jack Workboat Regatta 2023, Saturday 25th and Sunday 26th February. 2 days of hard racing and fun fetting on Grandad's Beach. It's We Regatta with Wester Hall Rums. Sponsored by Wester Hall White Jack Rum, Grenada Tourism Authority, NLA Blast, Carib, the official Regatta Bear, Budget Marine, SIFH Group, Glenelg Natural Spring Water, the Regatta Water, McIntyre Brothers and Yamaha, Camper Nicholson Marinas, Brighton and Miners with Campari and Smirnoff Vodka, Ramdani's True Value and Harris Spain, Coca-Cola Grenada, Flow, West Hall White Jack, Workboat Regatta, 25th and 26th February, Grandad's Beach. We rum, we regatta. Be there.
Grenada, after 10 years.
Hey Grenada, this is Pastor Donnie McClurkin, and get this, I am coming to the land of spice.
The multi-award-winning Pastor Donnie McClurkin is back live at the Grenada National Stadium for one night of praise and worship, where your hearts will be lifted heavenward, joined by some of Grenada's finest gospel talent, Lexton Mitchell, Edson Mitchell, Ajabo, Spice Worship Ministries, Nicole Fletcher Newton and Company, Patrick Grace, and the PBC Choir. Tickets are on sale now, $50, and can be found at all major ticket outlets and at your local churches. Don't miss this unique experience with classic songs like Stand, We Fall Down, Caribbean Medley, Great Is Your Mercy, and many more. Friday, 7th April 2023 at 7 p.m.
Got my mind made up, and I won't turn back, because I want to see my Jesus someday.
WeatherGuard Pro. For every project, there's only one Pro.
No, that's not how you cross the pedestrian crossing.
Really? One day I just woke up and I saw pedestrian crosswalks on the road. No one really showed me how to use them properly.
Well, this is how it's done. You never cross before doing these things. They might save your life. First, when you get to the crosswalk, you stop. You look left, you look right. If there's a vehicle coming, you put your hand out, making eye contact with the driver, indicating that you want to cross. And only when the vehicle comes to a complete stop, you quickly cross to the other side.
Stop, look, hand out, eye contact. Wait for pedestrian to cross to the other side, then you happily continue on your journey. This message is brought to you by this group of insurance companies, the Traffic Advisory Body, and the Traffic Department.
COVID-19 spreads from person to person through the droplets that are produced when someone coughs or sneezes, which makes it easy to spread between people in close contact. Now let's get prepared to stay healthy. To reduce your chance of catching or spreading COVID-19, practice these simple everyday preventative measures. Droplets can also land on surfaces, so ensure that you wash your hands frequently for a minimum of 20 seconds or sing the happy birthday song twice. Avoid touching your face, especially your eyes, nose, and mouth. If soap and water are not readily available, use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer with an alcohol content between 60 and 90%. 70% is ideal. When you cough or sneeze, cover your nose and mouth with a flexed elbow or a tissue. Dispose of the tissue immediately and then wash your hands. If you notice someone has a fever and cough or other symptoms of respiratory illness, avoid close contact when possible. Let's all do our part to ensure that each and every Grenadian remains healthy. Our health is our collective responsibility.
Sound that's everlasting.
Yes, good morning. I'm hearing you.
Last week on Our Climate Reality.
Climate change is in fact a real phenomenon, and it is already occurring, and we are already beginning to feel the impacts in our region. And those impacts are not just restricted to the physical impacts, more rain, hotter, but it then impacts our quality of life and how we are able to, to really live on a day-to-day basis. And that's the significance of climate change.
We have to understand what our current climate pattern is, and then try to understand how that pattern might change in the future. And of course, the changing climate pattern will force us to shift our lifestyles, or could force us to shift our lifestyles. But let's also remember not just to keep it in a human-centric viewpoint. There's a whole biosphere out there that's going to be impacted. Coral reefs, marine ecosystems, agriculture, chickens, poultry farmers, and most of it is going to have an economic impact.
Join us this Wednesday at 8 p.m. as our panel discuss the opportunities and co-benefits for reducing greenhouse gas emissions. All Climate Reality, GBN Television Channel 7 and 11, K105 FM, and all our social media platforms.
One day I woke up and, they painted a set of pedestrian crossing all along the streets. Nobody told us how to use that thing properly.
I know how.
You're serious?
Every safe, good driver knows about these things. As a driver, you have to be very attentive. You're coming up close to a pedestrian cross, you start slowing down immediately, looking to see if there's any pedestrian on the side getting ready to cross. If there is, you stop on the line that is a certain distance before the crosswalk. Then you would see the pedestrian put their hands out, looking directly at you, indicating that they are going to cross.
This way?
And only when you have come to a complete stop, that is when they will quickly and safely cross to the other side. And then you continue happily on your journey.
Stop, look, hand out, eye contact, wait for pedestrian to cross. Then you happily continue on your journey. This message is brought to you by this group of insurance companies, the Traffic Advisory Body, and the Traffic Department.
Officer, and that's our President, Francis. Please don't ask me that question. Not at all. I'm doing it with my son and the other students.
All right, folks, welcome to the conversation this morning. It's 21 minutes after 7 o'clock. And as I hinted to you, I've got via our Zoom platform two representatives from the Grenada Amateur Swimming Association, the president, Mr. Neil, and Miss Beverly Benoit. She is the public relations officer. And it's a good time to say good morning to you, lady and gentlemen. Good morning.
Good morning, Innocent.
And you know my name,
Thank you so much for accommodating us.
Wow, okay. Mr. Neil,
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Okay, good. I'm not going to ask Bev the question I asked before we came on, because you see she would be smiling very loudly and I don't want that. Okay, how is the Grenada Amateur Swimming Association going at the moment? Any of you?
I was letting the president go ahead first.
Okay, Mr. President.
Okay, yes, so coming out of the pandemic, the association did have some challenges, but we've started where we've gotten in gear again. Things are happening. Swimming is practically back to where it was prior to the pandemic, and I think we are doing pretty well. we are looking forward to great things for this year. We have a few exciting meets on the calendar. Locally, of course, as in this week. And then further along, we have a few meets coming up that we're looking forward to. And so I think we're back to where we were, and probably even a little step further.
What would you say is the level of interest from the Grenadian public? Are people really interested in swimming?
Definitely. Oh, go ahead, Beverly.
That's a very good question. I think the general public, well, the swimming fraternity of the general public, I think, are really very interested. But basically, we get very little support most of the times. But like I said, the fraternity, they are interested. So we do have a portion of the public that is interested in the swimming.
Okay, when you say you don't get support, is it from a governmental standpoint or from the business community?
Not really. Support in terms of persons. For example, if there's a track and field event, or a football event, or event, yes, in terms of patrons, you will find lots of people attending, but again, the pool that we have access to is not a very large place either. But in terms of public support in that way.
Okay, well, I mean, that leads me to the next question and the next point. The facility up at Good Hope, I've passed there not so long ago. I mean, I've known it for quite a while, and it's in my personal observation, it's not the best of facilities, which leads me to ask. There has always been talk about this, modern aquatic facility somewhere down by the stadium and things like that. Have you heard any conversations about that recently?
Yes, we have definitely been in contact with the governing body for swimming. They have promised to assist us in making that dream become a reality. They have committed to putting in the pool, and we have been asked by that governing body to commit to the balance that's necessary to complete that facility. So there are certain things that the facility would need to have in order to be approved for its purpose. So the government has since committed to partner with the Grenada Swimming Association, the Grenada Amateur Swimming Association, in making that dream become a reality.
Let me ask this also. Usually from within the sporting realm, right? When something sockeye has to happen, we hear the world governing body, FIFA, gets involved. When it comes to cricket, we hear ICC gets involved. Tennis, same thing. The International Swimming Association, I know there must be a governing body for it. What sort of representation and injection do you get from the International Swimming Association, if that's the name for it?
What was recently referred to as FINA, now World Aquatics. Now that we have had much support from them over the years in terms of our athletes being able to participate at international meets. I was privileged to, shortly after taking the position, I was fortunate to be able to travel with some of our swimmers to Abu Dhabi. That was in 2021, at the end of 2021, and that was really an exciting opportunity for me to be able to see world-class swimmers compete. And so the governing body often supports the opportunities for our swimmers to get out there and to be able to have a presence on the international stage.
But in terms of getting an adequate facility to enhance swimming, are they able to make any injections in financial or technical in whatever way to ensure that locals, because you see, I'm looking beyond. Grenada has been doing exceedingly well in swimming over the years. We had the break due to COVID, and they picked back up that slack. So Grenada can be used as a sort of regional hub for swimming, because we have the talent and we've been representing well. So is there any way that the new name that they give the organization that heads swimming, are they going to make financial contributions towards ensuring that we have a world-class facility here that can accommodate local, regional, and even international events in terms of swimming?
Okay, yes. Let me, as I already started speaking on that, I'm going to continue. Now, they have committed to providing the pool. Now, we expect to have, in short course, we expect to have a 10-lane, 25-meter competition pool. And we have committed to ensuring that becomes a reality in short order. And we have already done much of the technical work, the engineering and so forth has been done. The plan has been done. We have actually recently started fencing the lot of land which the facility is going to be installed. And so things are happening behind the scenes. Maybe we need to make it public knowledge so that persons can know that things are happening and moving in the swimming community.
Okay, you know what? Let me get you off the hook, because that wasn't the main focus of our conversations this morning. You might just be divulging some classified information that shouldn't be let out. So I'll let you off the hook now. We've got some events coming up. Could you enlighten us on that?
Yes, I'll take over from here. Yes, Innocent. So this weekend, beginning on Thursday, that's Thursday 23rd, we have our Powered Dasani Gaza National Swimming Championships. We are very pleased to mention Powered Gaza because they are our title sponsor for this event. It has been an annual event. We had a 3-year break because of the COVID-19 pandemic. So we are very, very happy to be resuming this weekend. It is going to be an exciting weekend of competitions. We have the swimmers, we have several clubs and also unattached swimmers that are going to be participating or competing. And I know they are eager and looking forward to it. The event begins on Thursday evening with some long races, like the 500 meter, well, in our pool we use yards. So the 500 yards and the, I think, 800 and so on. That begins on Thursday. Actually, the evening opens on Thursday with a technical meeting. Following that, there will be a warm-up session, and the actual races begin at 5:30. On Friday, we begin at 5:30 also. These 2 days, we wouldn't have many events, but Saturday now, we begin with warm-up as usual, and on Saturday at 9, there will be the opening ceremony where all the participants gather around the pool, and we have a little march past around the pool. That day, we run basically the entire day, and it's usually a very exciting event.
It sounds exciting just hearing it already. Now
it is indeed exciting. On Sunday we continue and we begin at 9 again. Well, usually warm-up begins earlier and then we have the actual event at 9 and we come to the closing ceremony at the end of the day, basically around 3 in the afternoon, 3, 4, where we give out medals and trophies accordingly.
Now, another question, the fact that you're going to be giving out medals and trophies and prizes, what's about Corporate Grenada? Do you get good support from Corporate Grenada?
We do get support to some extent. So I would say yes.
But it could be better.
Certainly.
All right.
Well, I would say yes, it can be better, but we have been getting support. I mean, there's evidence of it in this weekend's meet with the commitment of the Grenada Bottling Company with the sponsorship of Powerade and Dasani. And they have been quite supportive of the Grenada Amateur Swimming Association over the years. They have, when they've been called upon, they have always answered and they are ready to go. There are also some other sponsors who would contribute in other ways when we have needs of retrofitting or doing repairs at the facilities and so forth. They have come to our rescue.
So all in all, Ian, in your opinion, having assumed the role of president of the association, you think swimming is in a good light, not just now, but futuristically as well, right?
Oh, yes, definitely. I would say because we have a good team, I have a very supportive executive, people who are excited about swimming, and they do whatever we try to do whatever we can to ensure that swimming has a future in Grenada, and to ensure that we can have as much opportunity as possible available for our athletes.
Okay, before I forget to remember, Ian, my colleague intruded into the studio just to tell me, to tell Ian, she says hi. I'm talking of Rena Pierre Thomas. She says hi, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
Good, lovely. Okay, in wrapping up, anything you think we left out as it relates to your event coming up? Or events?
Well, we are inviting the general public to support us, to attend and see what our swimmers have to offer. Like I said, it's going to be very eager competitions. It's going to be an exciting event. We're going to have things on sale, like food on sale and so on. It's a good weekend for relaxation, Swimming, even though you're not the one swimming, it can be very relaxing to look at. And we invite everyone. We are very, very thankful to our title sponsor, Powerade Dasani. They are very supportive, like Neil said, of swimming, and they're there to assist us continually in swimming, as they have indicated to us.
Okay, that's good. Mr. Ian, in wrapping up?
Yes, as Beverly would have said, we expect an exciting weekend, and we would like to encourage the public to come out because swimming has been growing from strength to strength. As a matter of fact, we have going on Learn to Swim projects have been taking place right around the island. So interest definitely has been picking up. We've been doing our part, partnering with other entities, other groups to make sure that Grenadians are more water safe, water friendly, and we're looking forward to that filtering in to the Grenada Amateur Swimming Association in terms of what's happening with this Learn to Swim programs at the schools and so on and so forth. So we're trying our best to ensure that there is a public interest throughout Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, and so that swimming can grow in years to come.
Okay, well, thank you very much for dropping by and sharing this exciting information with us. We at the GBN would want to wish you, well, we wish you all the successes that can be had in the event and events coming up for the rest of the year. It appears that you're going to have a busy calendar as it relates to swimming throughout the year, and don't be afraid, get in touch with us. We want to help you get, swimming. Go ahead, Bev. I see you have your hand up.
Oh, yeah, just one more thing. The event actually will also be a qualifying event for the upcoming Carifta Swimming Championships. So it's going to be our final event for the year for persons to qualify.
For Carifta Games.
Yes, because we also have Carifta, you hardly hear about it where swimming is concerned, but we usually have Carifta Swimming Championships.
Well, I think now you being the person with the responsibility for disseminating information, the PR has to get out there that swimming is a sport too. All right?
I've been advocating that. I've been trying my best.
All right, good. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I've been speaking there, folks, with representatives from the Grenada Amateur Swimming Association as they invite you to their upcoming event and events. Go on out, support. Yeah, the facility is not of the state-of-the-art quality as yet, but join them in the struggle now so that when we get that big facility that is forthcoming, it would be, just walking through the process. I wish you all the best. I may drop by.
Please.
Thank you.
Thank
you to all your crew.
All right, nice. I like that word. Have a good one, folks. It's been a pleasure talking with you. All right, folks, I've been speaking there with representatives from the Grenada Amateur Swimming Association as they enlighten us as to their upcoming events. Stay tuned. We take a commercial break. We'll be back after these messages.
Thank you.
Grill Master. Now available. Grill Master Takeaway. Healthy choices of dinner is available every day from 5 p.m. A solution to end your day with healthy, hot meals. Are you tired of fried, greasy foods, junk food, high-calorie food before bed, leading to a bad night and sleep? Grill Master brings the solution for you by offering customized, hot, fresh, healthy grilled foods sustainable for after workout, your keto diet, and those who love greens. Let your last meal be your next day fresh start. Grill Master is second to none. Advance your order for pickup or delivery at 439-3737 or our WhatsApp number at 1-473-423-3737. Grill Master, second to none.
Total is one of the world's largest oil companies with a top quality line of lubricants. Total Lubricants has a full product line from passenger cars, motorcycle, heavy industrial equipment, mining, trucking, agriculture, and manufacturing machines and vehicles. Total Lubricants, winning championships in motorsports, including Formula One and World Rally Championships. Total Lubricants are available at all Rubis service stations, leading automotive shops, and distributed by Huggins.
Book your spot now to see the Spice Boys in action against the Barbados national team in February. On Wednesday, February 22nd, the action is at the Fun Recreation Ground in St. Patrick from 7 p.m. To the National Stadium from 7 p.m. on Friday, February 24th. And finally, we go to Guelph at the Cuthbert Peters Park on Sunday, February 26th from 4 p.m. Come out in your numbers and support our boys as they prepare for the USA. Admission at the door, $15 for adults and $5 for children. Expect fun, excitement, and competitive football. February 22nd, 24th, and 26th. Grenada versus Barbados. Don't you miss it.
Affordable quality products delivered to you via Superb Service. We are Superb Distributors, wholesalers and authorized agents for trusted products you know and love, like Rika Juices, Pure Heaven products, Bibbin diapers, New Bright laundry detergent, Allegra pasta, and more.
Contact Superb Distributors at 435-2948 for superb quality and service.
Last week on Our Climate Reality.
Climate change is in fact a real phenomenon, and it is already occurring, and we are already beginning to feel the impacts in our region. And those impacts are not just restricted to the physical impacts, more rain, hotter, but it then impacts our quality of life and how we are able to, to really live on a day-to-day basis. And that's the significance of climate change.
We have to understand what our current climate pattern is, and then try to understand how that pattern might change in the future. And of course, the changing climate pattern will force us to shift our lifestyles, or could force us to shift our lifestyles. But let's also remember not just to keep it in a human-centric viewpoint. There's a whole biosphere out there that's going to be impacted. Coral reefs, marine ecosystems, agriculture, chickens, poultry farmers, and most of it is going to have an economic impact.
Join us this Wednesday at 8 p.m. as our panel discuss the opportunities and co-benefits for reducing greenhouse gas emissions. All Climate Reality, GBN Television Channel 7 and 11, K105 FM, and all our social media platforms.
All right, good morning once again. It's 15 minutes on to the 8 o'clock hour, and quickly before, my TV producer is going to look for that clip as it relates to the police officers that went through the mediators training session. I would like to hear from you. What are your thoughts on that? How well do you think it will work, enhance their performance on their duties? All right, so my TV guy is going to pull that clip. But in the meantime, let's see what's happening on our Facebook page. Sonia Madeline Scott says, good morning, GBN, Grenada, Carriacou, and PD Martinique. Good morning, everyone. Have a beautiful, productive day all. Good morning to you also, Lydia Cameron. That is the Jab organic breakfast for Juve. Okay. Yulin Alexander, of course. Good morning, Gordon. Good morning, Grenada. Blessings to all on this wonderful Wednesday. Have a blessed and safe day, everyone, from New York. Thanks, and same to you, Yulin. Alistair Warwood Sr. says, blessed midweek morning spicy Tri-Islanders, home and abroad. GBN and host Mr. Innocent, proud of my people. We are a unique brand. Of course we are. Veronica Sandy says, good morning, Gordon, Innocent, Joseph. Blessed day to everyone. Good morning, Veronica. Lydia Cameron says, enough is enough with the news. It's too monotonous. Come on, GBN. Okay. Good morning, Zephyrin. Zephyrin McLeod says good morning. All right. And Yulin Alexander says congratulations to all the swimmers. Thank you, Yulin. I know they are listening. And your congratulations is well in order. So we are going to join the TV now for that quick clip as it relates to the police officers obtaining that training in mediation.
Community mediation is in safe hands. That's the view of Velma Newton, Regional Project Coordinator, Impact Justice Project, speaking at the conclusion of a one-week training of 31 police officers from the Royal Grenada Police Force in mediation. This forms part of the Regional Justice Reform Project, looking at mediation as a court alternative dispute resolution mechanism. This is the fifth such training to take place. The project was funded funded by the Canadian government in collaboration with the University of the West Indies to increase the pool of mediators in CARICOM member states. This was the final training for the region as the project concludes at the end of March this year.
Impressed by the views of Commissioner of Police Mr. Martin and his management team on the subject of community policing and the provision of support for police officers who experience trauma in the execution of their duties. Too often we tend to forget that police officers are also human beings who, like the rest of us, can be severely affected emotionally by trauma that they witness, and they also need counseling. The second instance, as a result of which a decision was taken to provide mediation training for police officers in Grenada, was discussions held at the police station in Guelph. There, we were privileged to meet two police officers who impressed us by their accounts of the work they were doing to assist members of the community who came to them with problems. I can say that, in my view, community mediation is in safe hands in the officers of the Royal Grenada Police Force.
All right, folks, you heard it, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. As I happen to know this lady well, interacted with her before. She's a very resourceful person. And as it relates to the conversation that I want us to have, ever so often, as she rightfully said, sometimes we as civilians, we operate as though the police are not humans. We expect them, well, yeah, their motto is to protect and serve, but sometimes we expect them to, in layman terms, make bread out of stone. All right. Now they've gotten that level of training, and I hope that it will be a continuous something, Do you think it will enhance their performance in dealing with issues that may arise from time to time? What are your thoughts on this? Do you think it's a step in the right direction? Give me a call, 435-2041. And while we are with our first caller, also making the rounds this morning on the buzz, we see that the gentleman, Michael McQueen, he has been found guilty of non-capital murder in connection with the December 2017 death of 83-year-old Franklin St. Paul. All right, that's also on the buzz this morning. We have a caller. Let's go to the phone line. Good morning, caller.
Hello, are you hearing me?
Yeah, good morning. Welcome.
Yeah, because I've been having problems for more than a week now getting connected to the station. I don't know why.
Okay.
Anyway, this program, I have been a beneficiary to this program a few years ago. I was one of the batches of people that was trained, at least 40 of us. And the intention was that it would have sort of evolved into greater practice in the community. Unfortunately, and a steering committee was formed by the people who attended it. Some of them went to Jamaica, and nothing happened. So the police being trained, I think that was because when I got the training, some police officers was there, teachers was there. That's just, I think it was in 2018, if I remember, when we got the training. It was close around the election then, and so it's good. I think we need more of that. When I keep talking about community development, the role of community development, this is one aspect. We could help free up the court system by citizens helping in the resolution of difficulty. I wouldn't even say conflict, of difficulty individuals have, rather than flocking the court system, which doesn't always provide justice.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
All right,
so it's good. It must be good.
Okay, thank you.
And I think she's right. I mean, my concern is that having received the training, would those who receive the training and those in the past continue to deepen their awareness and understanding and also the practice of it? Because many times we go and do courses and so on, we have the certificates and we flash it around, but we know nothing. And I'm glad that there's another bunch. Because, I mean, we need that thing.
Okay.
Too many things happen that could be prevented if we have the skills and the knowledge.
Okay.
Thank you a lot.
Thank
I
you,
don't want to speak too long.
Thanks.
Bye.
Okay, good. 8 minutes on to the 8 o'clock hour. 8 o'clock workers, you should be on the JOB already. I hope you are. Yeah, that's a very important factor, and it's a wonderful initiative. As the caller said, well, I said it too. That should impact our court system, because sometimes you go to the courts and for very trivial matters that could have been resolved between the persons involved in whatever the issues were. The police could intervene and give some sort of resolution. So I think it's a step in the right direction. I do hope that it's a continuous something, and it should aid even members of the prosecution team, within the RGPF especially. But again, it shouldn't be limited to just people in terms of prosecuting. It should be something that any police officer. Something that was brought to my attention recently by a member of the RGPF as it relates to pretty larceny. He said one of the reasons why the pretty larceny task force is not as effective as it should be is because it is understaffed. All right? Officers who are assigned to the pretty larceny task force are being pulled from it to do regular policing. So we had that conversation earlier in the week, and he was saying, hence the reason why, we're having that influx of pretty larceny, because the pretty larceny task force is not properly manned. So that's another thing that has to be looked at. Maybe, Minister of National Security might have to employ some more officers, train some more officers. It's 6 minutes on to the hour of 8 o'clock. We have to take that final commercial break. Let's do that, and we'll be back for the wrap.
Sunday, February 26th, it's Savior's Day with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. His subject, the War of Armageddon has begun.
The Great War has begun. And foreign wars and the plagues that are hitting America and the world is destroying the American economy.
Sunday, February 26th, live in the Wintrust Arena. Doors open at noon. Get your tickets now at all Ticketmaster outlets, and get all the details at noi.org.
Ultratech gasoline and diesel, available only at Rubis stations.
Shop at Southern Electrical for all your security camera needs. We offer a wide variety of cameras such as solar cameras with or without lights, 4G cameras, Wi-Fi and PoE kits, 4, 8, and 16 channel, replacement cameras for PoE, standalone Wi-Fi cameras, floodlights with cameras, watch cameras, pen cameras, and much more. We are located at Dusty Highway in Grandin, St. George. Let us help you with your security needs. Southern Electrical, best value, expert advice, quality products.
Casey mentioned the wing kai, then you have things like man, you must come back, you know. We have the low power that.
It is kind of like the same man, and it's just different name for the same kind of thing.
And last but not least, I just want to say to all the men who saw me, call me, and ask for a piece of cake. I'm baking this weekend.
Join us Fridays at 8 on GBN Television, K105 FM, GBN's Facebook page, and YouTube channel for We Culture.
GBN Television News at 7, a pulse on all things Grenadian. Look out for our new features through expanded synergies with our media partners in Barbados, St. Lucia, Jamaica, Trinidad, and beyond. Capturing the latest in news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Credible, informative. Thank you for making us number one. News at 7, live, Monday to Friday on GBN Television, Channel 7 and 11. K105.5 and 105.9, Hot 98.5 and 98.7, GBN Television Facebook page and YouTube channel, and www.gbn.gd. GBN, with you anywhere and everywhere.
Last week on Our Climate Reality.
Climate change is in fact a real phenomenon, and it is already occurring, and we are already beginning to feel the impacts in our region. And those impacts are not just restricted to the physical impacts, more rain, hotter, but it then impacts our quality of life and how we are able to, to really live on a day-to-day basis. And that's the significance of climate change.
We have to understand what our current climate pattern is, and then try to understand how that pattern might change in the future. And of course, the changing climate pattern will force us to shift our lifestyles, or could force us to shift our lifestyles. But let's also remember not just to keep it in a human-centric viewpoint. There's a whole biosphere out there that's going to be impacted. Coral reefs, marine ecosystems, agriculture, chickens, poultry farmers, and most of it is going to have an economic impact.
Join us this Wednesday at 8 p.m. as our panel discuss the opportunities and co-benefits for reducing greenhouse gas emissions. All Climate Reality, GBN Television, Channel 7 and 11, K105 FM, and all our social media platforms.
Feel good facts. Help prevent cold and flu by washing your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. That's the time it takes to remove most germs. No soap and water? No worries when you've got alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Feel good facts. Remember, if you have flu symptoms, do the right thing and stay at home to avoid giving it to others. Remember, you can be infectious up to a week after developing symptoms, so rest up and take it easy.
Stop the spread of germs that can make you and others sick. Cover your nose and mouth with a tissue when you cough or sneeze. If you don't have a tissue, use your elbow. Wash hands often, especially after coughing or sneezing into a tissue.